everybody!
Okay, so we're here for one of my favorite videos to film, even though it's very, very long and also takes a while to edit. It is our monthly book haul.
It is the book haul, yes. It's a pretty good haul for this month, I think.
I was gonna say there are particular reasons I'm excited about this book haul.
Yeah, some really fun finds, I'd like to think.
Oh,
would be
just
really
wait
cool.
for it. But anyway, we're gonna kick things off by talking about the stuff we got for review.
Yep, some
So I'm gonna talk about 3 books that I actually don't know all that much about, but I wanted to show them to you guys anyway so that you could get a chance to see them and maybe consider if you want to read them yourself. So the first is One Fine Duke, which kind of sounds like One Fine Day, by Lenore Bell. Historical romance. This one is from Avon Books, and I have no idea what it's about, but...
It's about a fine duke.
Okay, fine. It's about a fine duke, according to Max. That is his summary.
I am totally... It's about the duke, and he's totally fine.
Basically.
And how fine he is really the story. Oh,
I have no idea what the story is. So, historical romance. Check it out if you want. Actually have, it looks like a YA thriller, I want to say.
Oh.
In the Woods by Carrie Jones and Stephen E. Waddell.
And that's where the story happens. Huh?
In the Woods.
No? Okay.
Apparently it's the story of a woods in a neighborhood, and apparently there's something in the woods that is attacking the people who ventured for it. So yes, it does take place in the woods. So thank you to Tortine for this.
More from Tor.
And then we have from Viking, our Pamela Dorman books, we have Someone We Know by Sherry LaPena. This seems to be a thriller, mystery type story, and it's about a neighborhood where this teen keeps breaking into people's houses and leaving notes.
Oh, wow.
And they're not entirely sure.
Is it like nice notes, like have a great day, or
Probably
creepy,
not.
like you look nice when you sleep?
I don't know. It looks
notes?
very thrillery. I'm actually going to give this one to my sister because she's in
That's
a thrillery
true. She
mood,
is in
so
a thrillery.
she can happily take this off my hands.
Thrillery.
And then we have a couple more books. We have from DAW, which means this is adult. It says Walk the Wild With Me by Rachel Atwood, and it's a new historical fantasy where a young man must use a power granted by a goddess to infiltrate the realm of fairy and save a kidnapped victim before the door is sealed once again.
Another fairy book. Very
I'll read it. The main character's name is Nicholas, which, if you guys didn't know, one of my favorite names in the world, and I have no idea why. It's apparently a combination Robin Hood fairy story, so it should be interesting, and I've not heard anything about this one, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. The reason why this one is still in its packaging is because it's too cute not to show you guys, so you can probably guess what the book is just based on this little snippet here that says, all you need is love and parental approval. This is the package for one of the biggest YA debuts, or one of the ones that seems to be the biggest, Frankly in Love.
Frankly in Love. Oh, yeah.
So it says, Frankly just wants to fall in love, and then it opens and says, Frankly's parents just want him to fall in love with a Korean girl. Open that up, and you get, Frankly just fell in love with a white girl.
And then open it finally up, and
it says, Frankly's love life just got complicated. Oh, I love that last part. It says, Frankly, this book is for you. And now we have the actual arc. This is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This is the story of Frankly. And his parents are very, very Korean and want him to fall in love with a Korean girl. That would be their ideal. But instead, Frank ends up falling in love with a white girl. In order to circumvent this whole parental disapproval thing, he and his Korean friend, family friend, they decide that they're going to fake date so that their parents will approve of it, but then they'll go and date other people. I actually read this one, so you'll see it in an upcoming What We Read. Suffice to say, I have very complicated feelings about it. So
I talked her through them, it's fine.
Yeah, but I am very grateful to Penguin Teen for sending along this book for me.
Lovely. Alright, what else you got?
2 more things, and they're both in boxes. So I totally forgot last month to show off this box. This is a novel box, and if you can see it, it has my name on it because this is the box I curated when I went to the novel breakfast during Book Expo. So there are a couple of things in here. Actually, let me show you one of the things, the finished copy that came in first. So it's The Diviners by Libba Bray, which is very fitting because this is a book that I'm joining a readathon for next month, or this month since this is going up in August. The Diviners is set in 1920s New York, and it involves paranormal mystery solving. So that's all I really know.
Where they divine the paranormal. Very nice.
This was my checklist from the party.
Ooh, I want to see the checklist.
And then we have When the Stars Lead to You by Ronnie Davis. And this is a heated first love romance between 2 teens who are torn apart by one summer by prejudice and mental illness, only to find each other once again. So contemporary YA, sounds a little bit heavy, but I'm very curious. And this one comes out November 2019. And then we have The Bone Houses, which is by Emily Lloyd-Jones. This one comes out in September 2019. And this is basically about a grave digging family, but the dead don't stay dead in like the area that she's grave digging, so sounds slightly creepy.
Nice cover. If you're a grave digging family to make sure that the dead stay dead, then you are close to the action.
And then we have A Match Made in Mehendi by Nandini Bajpai, which I did show during my book expo haul and talked about. So it's basically about a high school teen who comes from a matchmaking Indian family, and one day she puts together a match, it's successful, and so her family's like, you've got the gene, you got this, and so she decides that she's going to basically use it to make money at school, and then she's also going to try it herself. So it sounds really cool and really fun, so I can't wait to read it. And then we have a bunch of like random goodies. We have a bookmark that says Must Love Books, a notebook, which I actually have one of these.
Another bookmark that
It says Buy Me Books,
which is basically the summation of our marriage.
Two pins. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's 2 pins. One says booked all week and one says no shelf control. So this is a very cute box. I'm so glad that the Novel team put this together and let us pick our books again. It was really great, really fun. So thank you, Novel, for all of these goodies. We literally got this at the end of the month. This is a gigantic box that says The Turn of the Key. I actually have no idea what's in here.
Ooh, let's find out.
Whoa. So this is for a book called The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. And it's in stores 8/6. Be the first to unlock the mystery.
This blurb: a live-in nanny, a luxurious smart home fitted with an all-seeing happy app, the picture-perfect family. But then a child turns up dead.
Creepy.
Yikes, Arudi.
Mr. Wrexham. There's a letter in here. It's addressed to Mr. Wrexham. Can you see that?
And it's sealed.
It's also got like a key and a lock. I actually don't want to tear this.
Yes, same. But we'll see.
Oh, we'll just have to use a letter opener for it. Oh wow, it's a finished copy of this book.
Very nice.
It's so shiny. It's a finished copy of The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This is clearly a mystery thriller. It's a huge bag, which kind of makes sense because she's a nanny, so she's gonna need like this huge. It's really big.
And it says Happy Home,
which is slightly
creepy. Super creepy in context now, but sure, we'll use that.
It's huge, guys.
It is a huge bag.
Like, it's massive. This is like the biggest bag I've ever gotten as like a promo item, which is kind of creepy because like it makes you think like in the context of the story.
A child could fit in here. That's terrible.
Ooh, that's nasty. Ooh, that's a creepy thing.
I was raised on Stephen King, so.
I like her like, I grew up on a steady diet of Stephen King. I mean, on the one hand, you could fit a ton of books in there.
I was about to say, it's like, ooh, look, for BA next year.
I actually have to thank Big Hunter Media and Gallery Books for sending this package along. I'm really intrigued. Like, I don't read a lot of thrillers, but now I'm slightly tempted because I've been getting so many.
I got a couple of books in the mail that were actually addressed to her, and then one that was actually addressed to me, thanks to Lily. I'll save that for last. This is Dark Star Calling by Julia Keller. This is, I want to say, the third installment of trilogy.
Dark Intercept, I think.
Yeah, the Dark Intercept. I don't really know what it's about.
It does say Dark Star
but,
Calling.
You know, I guess there's a star and they're calling. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea what it's about. But
that one's from Tortine.
But it is about. But it's from Tortine. So thank you, Tor. I did get a copy of this at BA, but they were. Sent a lovely goodie bag.
Bloomsbury was kind enough to send
an Arc of the Beast.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
It's got some fun wrapping paper of the actual cover.
That's so cool.
Which is the second book of the Dark Deep series. Dark Deep's kind of like, well, it kind of bad or maybe good timing for the author that the Stranger Things sort of came out around the time that the Dark Deep came out, where it's a bunch of kids who discover some kind of crazy phenomenon in the woods called the Dark Deep that makes all of their fears or thoughts manifest.
Creepy.
For whatever reason, they become book one ends with them sort of overcoming whatever obstacles were there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a book two, now would it?
Or it could have just been a companion.
Or it could have just been a companion, but I don't know what this one's about. It's real. But what's really great about this thing is because there's a whistle in there. Because hey, when you're out hunting and fighting supernatural phenomena,
you need something to be loud and
to call attention to yourself, if needs be. You've got a little LED flashlight, which I think is so important because
that's
this
so
house,
cool.
You know, is kind of really awesome. I'm gonna assume this is slime because
looks like slime
that's
to me.
that's what them youngins like these days.
Why do we keep getting slime?
I have no idea. But there's an atomizer. It says monsters spray away. Instructions: fill spray with water.
Amazing.
Add 2 or 3 drops of preferred essential oils. Shake well. Spray in corners, under beds, closets. Chant monsters, monsters, stay away, or any powerful words, or any other powerful words. Shake before each use to make the magic strong. Aw,
that's cute.
So. Oh wait, no, the bottle. Okay. Lastly, I think we have one of these.
No, we
a
don't.
beautiful finished copy
Wow, that's awesome.
of the actual Dark
No, we
Deep.
don't have it.
And this is beautiful because we do have the arc, and Ali Conde and Brendan Reichs did really well, I think, with this book. So, oh look, Alex Bracken blurbed it. Pretty cool, along with R.L. Stein and Soman Chainani. Very nice. Roshni Chakshi's on here too. So yeah, Tahira Mafi. Right, so a lot of people loved it. I loved it, so very happy to be able to have all
awesome.
this stuff. And last but certainly not least is The Very Far North by Dan Barnell.
Look how cute that cover
There is a polar bear named Dwayne, an Arctic owl, I assume, named Cece, and I guess bison named Handsome. Bison's Handsome's not on the cover.
I love that there's a bison named Handsome.
And the way this was marketed to me by Lily, and she didn't even have to sales talk me too much. But
Lily's good at her job,
because Lily's really good at her job. But at the same time, she was like, "You have to try this book," and I'm just like, "All right, sure, I'm gonna try it." And it's basically kind of like Winnie the Pooh in the Arctic, and I'm like, just tears already, like, you know,
Just
sobbing in the
thinking
middle
about
of the BAA floor. So yeah, it's The Very Far North, and it's about a polar bear and his friends.
We're on the blog tour. Well, Mackie's on the blog tour.
I am on the blog
so
tour,
he's going to be
so-
reading and reviewing it.
Indeed. So this is a beautiful arc of this book, and I cannot actually. This is actually going on my TBR.
As you guys probably already know, at the beginning of July, we went to Ireland. We went to Dublin, specifically.
Yeah,
Got
there's
some
that
goodies.
Trinity College swag bag.
Swag bag.
I don't know.
The first thing I bought was something I bought from Trinity College because I felt like I had to buy something at Trinity College, and I ended up buying a lot of things at Trinity College. However, the one thing that I can show in this haul is this copy of Dracula by Bram Stoker. I would like to read Dracula because I do like vampires. I prefer them over most paranormal creatures, to be honest. And it would be nice and interesting to read like one of the more foundational works in the world of vampires. Plus, I just felt like I had to buy something that was by an Irish author. And then on our very first day there, Maggie and I actually ended up in the bookstore, surprising no one.
No one at all.
One of the first things I bought was this edition of East of the Sun and West of the Moon, which is Old Tales from the North. It's illustrated by Ken Nielsen and edited by Noel Daniel. And
It has stickers at the
It has
back.
stickers at the back. And I'm just assuming this is a compilation of fairy tales and mythology and stories like that, which, as you guys know, I have quite the collection of. But the best thing that we found in Ireland is something that Mike and I inadvertently ended up buying way more copies than we actually need. So you guys know that I collect Harry Potters. I actually already had the Irish one because my friend Rachel from Hello Chelly had brought it for me from her trip. I was like, I don't need to buy a second copy of it. It's fine, right? Yeah. Guess which schmuck ended up with 3.
Oh, but what are they?
This is in Greek.
Ancient Greek, mind you.
This one's in Latin, which Mackie started to try to read. Which is kind of impressive.
which is don't be too impressed. I barely remember the things from high school Latin, but I understand. Like, at least, you know, I can recognize. Oh, this one's in the past tense, or that looks like an article of something. But yeah, and so it's Harrius Potter.
And this one is in Welsh, and we're suckers, so bought all of them.
So I'm going to start with part 1 of my Humble Bundle thing. And
We'll link you guys to that down below.
Yeah, what's really cool about Humble Bundle is that, you know, every so often some video games are discounted, some books are heavily discounted, and
Comics
they sort of
too.
give, and comics, and they sort of give the proceeds to different sort of charities. Like, for example, the bundles that I got would go to the Every Library Institute and the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America.
That's cool.
Which is really awesome, right? And what really interested me here is that you pay up to a certain amount, you get like the whole haul, right? And that's what's really great. And then, of course, proceeds go to said charities. I'm going to start with books, and we'll flash all of them below.
Yep.
But what attracted me to this whole kind of book bundle was Shadow Magic by Patricia Reed. Patricia Reed is a favorite of mine and Alexis because of her Dealing with Dragons kind of series. This one is also about a princess, and she's fighting like a nameless, faceless kind of thing in the woods, and I thought that's worth the Humble Bundle, like, full promo. But on top of that, you get everything else that you see on the screen. So you've got the Sunset Warrior, Newton's Canon, Legacy, Quantico, Parable of the Sower, a bunch of a whole other. There's a Timothy Zahn book, which I love. Timothy Zahn of Thrawn fame and
other
Star Wars fame.
books.
Snake Agent, got a bunch of others like Lady Mandragon, Mirror of Destiny, Demon Sword, Alien Blues. But it's really a Patricia Reed book that I was like, that's worth that and everything else. So that's it's now sitting on my Kindle.
He has a lot of TBR books now.
What I did buy from Kindle, it's from Amazon itself, would be Thrawn Treason, which is the third book of the Thrawn. Like, I guess they're going to keep writing more. I don't know. Timothy Zahn, keep going. It's a Timothy Zahn month for me. I don't know what this one's about, but I want it already. I couldn't still get through the second Thrawn book because it had Anakin in it. And for the life of me, I still hear Hayden Christensen in there. War of the Spark, a Ravnica book, sort of came out. And I am a huge fan of Ravnica. I've just mentioned that many times before. It's a Magic the Gathering sort of expansion. It's about cool guilds. One. It's like they thought, revolutionary, instead of just having 5 colors, let's have 5 color combinations.
It's really cool.
And combine all the guilds. So it's like 10 guilds, and it's really, really cool.
I want to play Magic the Gathering.
It's really great. I got A Long Conversation. It's a novella by the Shadowhunters, and Alexa read it. It's a tiny thing. It was worth it. It's a novella in the Shadowhunters world set roughly around the time of, I want to say,
somewhere in the middle of Lady Midnight.
Lady Midnight, and it talks about Clary.
Yes.
Right at the time that she was planning the engagement party for Simon and Isabel. And lastly, which will dovetail with Alexa's thing, because she's like, but I have that. Like, I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to, like, I want it on my Kindle too.
Yes, we
So
know.
Alexa got the first copy, got a physical copy, and she can show you as well. She and I got the copy of the last
first Witcher book.
There are a ton of Witcher books, but you want to read them in order, and in reading order, it's always recommended to read the short stories first, starting with The Last Wish. Which I have read. It's really great.
Sapkowski.
That's right.
It's Kristen's fault. I have to finish.
It's totally Kristen's fault that she had this, but it's, I guess, my brother's fault that I started playing Witcher 3.
Which is really fun.
Which is really great, and I finished it. And so I have that, and since I finished that, I'm at Sword of Destiny already, so I have that too. This is the first grimdark that I might have officially read. It's basically, like, you've heard of dystopian sci-fi. This is dystopian fantasy. It's high on the magic. It's not just like, the general chaos is a ladder type, George R. R. Martin kind of, like, humans are just crap things. Here it's really, no,
humans are just crap.
They are, though. Like, that's, I think, the entire thing of George R. R. Martin is, you've got dragons and White Walkers, but you know what? Humans are crap. To each other and to themselves. But the grimdark is like, humans are absolute crap, also monsters. So I don't know. That's how that's why I don't have a job in any kind of marketing, I swear to God. And that ends my my digital haul.
Aside from buying The Last Wish, which is basically something I blame on Kristen, because why wouldn't I blame things on Kristen? Another thing that Kristen convinced me to buy is a book called Park Avenue Summer by Renee Rosen. It is set in 1965 New York City, and it's set at Cosmopolitan magazine, where there's a brand new editor-in-chief, and she is sort of pushing the envelope about what to print in the magazine at the time. And Kristen recently read this one, absolutely loved it, convinced me I needed to read it, and so here we are. The next 2 books are books that both Kristen and Rachel have read, and they've both been trying to get me to read these books for a while, and I caved. And so here we are. The first is The Paris Seamstress, which is by Natasha Lester. It's about a French seamstress and a British spy and an American heiress. It's a dual timeline story. There's a 1940s timeline, which is obviously during the World War, and then there's a present day timeline, and I guess the entire story is going to unravel slowly throughout the book, which is one of my favorite things in a historical fiction novel, so definitely looking forward to that. This is one of Rachel's favorite books of 2018, one of Kristen's favorite books of 2019. So hopefully it will be one of mine too. Both of them also convinced me I needed to read The Simple Wild by Kay Tucker. This one is set in Alaska. It has something to do with a daughter who goes to Alaska to be with her dad when she finds out the dad is sick. And so stuff happens, including romance. And then Rachel convinced me to read Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and this is actually a Reese's Book Club pick. I actually have no idea, absolutely no idea what the plot is about. I know it involves a court case and a mystery, but that's as far as that goes. And the reason Rachel convinced me to read it was because she said that she wasn't expecting to love it so much, but she literally was like, this is a 5-star book. Loved it. My friends can convince me to do most things, guys. That's really all that is. And the last book that I need to quickly show is a purchase that I made because of Mel from Mel to the Annie. If you watch the Tithe Fairy-a-thon live show, you will probably remember at some point that Melanie brought up this book. It's Blackbringer, Fairies of Dreamdark. This is the first book in the Laini Taylor series that I knew nothing about prior to that discussion. And I still know nothing about it, but look at that cover! And it's Laini Taylor who writes beautifully with the most gorgeous prose, so obviously I needed to get my hands in it. Now if I could only find the sequel for a reasonable price, I would be happy to purchase it as well.
Wonderful.
So that's the last one I'm going to talk about for now. That is the end of our haul video for the month of July. We'd love to know what books you guys got this month, what you're most excited about, and if you're particularly excited about anything in our haul, we'd love to know, because then
feel free to just chatter away, we'll chatter back, it's a thing.
Chatter.
I know, right?
All right, we'll see you guys for another video soon. Bye.